Imagine waking up one morning to find your bank account completely drained. Or maybe you discover a second mortgage was taken out in your name. Or you get a massive medical bill for a surgery you absolutely never had. It is a terrifying scenario, but the reality is it happens to thousands of people every single day. Let's dive right into this crucial explainer on exactly how to reclaim your life step by step if you suspect you're a victim of identity theft. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, just take a deep breath. We've got an exact roadmap to get through this together. We're going to cover understanding identity theft, immediate actions to take, reporting the crime, developing your recovery plan, monitoring and preventive measures, and finally, seeking additional help.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Understanding Identity Theft. It's a terrifying question, isn't it? What actually happens when your identity is stolen? Look, acknowledging the psychological shock of this situation is the very first step in pivoting away from panic. You have to process that shock so you can move toward taking back real control of your life and your data.
So the most crucial point to understand here is that identity theft isn't just one single crime. It's really an umbrella term for a constantly evolving global threat. It happens when a thief hijacks your personal data, like your social security number or a credit card, to make illegal purchases, open unauthorized accounts, or even file a fake tax return in your name just to steal your refund.
And honestly, the threat goes way beyond just a stolen credit card. Take medical identity theft, for example. That can result in someone else's health history getting mixed in with yours, which is incredibly dangerous in an emergency. Then there's synthetic identity theft, where a thief basically builds a Frankenstein identity, combining your real social security number with a fake name and birth date. This one is particularly tricky because it can take months to even detect. The fraudulent account might not show up on your credit report until a debt collector starts coming after you. And of course, there's criminal identity theft, where someone literally uses your identity during an arrest or legal proceedings.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, Immediate Actions to Take. Listen, before you even think about involving the authorities, you have to act as your own digital first responder. Your very first move is to aggressively lock down those compromised accounts. Step 1, contact the fraud department of any company where you know for a fact fraud occurred. Tell them to freeze or close those accounts immediately. Step 2, ask them to send you a physical letter confirming that you are not liable for the fraudulent activity, and be sure to document every single phone call you make. And Step 3, change all your logins, passwords, and PINs right away. Lock it all down. Now, time is literally money here. Under Regulation E from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, your liability for unauthorized electronic transfers won't exceed $50. But there's a catch. That's only if you notify your financial institution within 2 business days of learning about the theft. If you miss that 2-day window, your liability jumps to $500. And if you wait longer than 60 days after your statement is sent, your liability could literally be unlimited. You'll definitely want to keep the contact info for Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion handy. Your next immediate action is to contact just one of these 3 major credit bureaus to place a free fraud alert on your credit file. By law, the bureau you contact is legally required to notify the other 2. This initial fraud alert lasts for a full year and forces creditors to take reasonable steps to verify your identity before opening any new accounts. And while you're at it, request a copy of your credit report and review it closely.
Let's move to Section 3, Reporting Identity Theft.
It's absolutely crucial that you do this in a very specific order. First, report the crime to the Federal Trade Commission at identitytheft.gov, or give them a call at 1-877-ID-THEFT. This generates your FTC identity theft affidavit, which you need to save and print out. Only after you have that FTC affidavit in your hands should you go to your local police department to file a crime report. Bring the affidavit, your ID, proof of address, and any evidence of the fraud with you. Now, you might be wondering why we endure all this bureaucratic red tape. Well, the reason is incredibly important and, honestly, highly empowering. When you combine your official police report with your FTC affidavit, it creates an official identity theft report. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, this is the legal key that triggers enhanced blocking rights. It legally forces credit bureaus, creditors, and debt collectors to drop fraudulent claims and block that bad info from your report, often within a strict 4-business-day window. Which brings us to Section 4, Developing a Recovery Plan. So identitytheft.gov is an absolute lifeline. By creating a free account there, the federal government essentially acts as your own personal recovery assistant. It takes the unique details you entered about your situation and generates a specific, step-by-step recovery roadmap based entirely on what you're dealing with.
And we're not just talking about a generic checklist here. The portal walks you through your specific recovery steps, tracks your progress, and updates dynamically as things change. But the absolute best feature? It completely takes the stress out of drafting legal letters by literally generating pre-filled dispute documents for you. You just print them out, sign them, and send them off to debt collectors and businesses to clear your name. It's a total game changer.
All right, Section 5, Monitoring and Preventive Measures.
Understanding the difference between an alert and a freeze is absolutely vital. We talked about a fraud alert a minute ago. It acts as a warning system, telling creditors to double-check who is applying for credit. But a credit freeze? That is much stronger. It acts like an impenetrable vault door on your credit report. It completely restricts access to your file, meaning no new accounts can be approved at all until you actively choose to lift the freeze. And remember, placing and lifting a credit freeze is entirely free.
A passive defense just isn't enough anymore. You have to actively utilize tools like free credit monitoring from the bureaus to get daily notifications of any changes. You should also request an Identity Protection PIN, or IP PIN, directly from the IRS. This is a massive proactive measure against tax-related fraud. And of course, practice basic digital hygiene. Review your bank statements every single month, line by line, and immediately change your passwords if you hear about a data breach at a company you use.
Finally, Section 6, Seeking Additional Help.
Because identity theft can spiderweb into literally every single aspect of your life, you may need to methodically alert several different agencies. If your medical cards were accessed, you've got to contact your health insurance provider or Medicare. If someone is messing with your taxes, you'll need to file Form 1439 with the IRS Identity Protection Unit. You might even need to call your local gas or cable company to make sure the thief hasn't set up utility accounts in your name using your stolen Social Security number.
Before we wrap up, I need to add a very important professional note. While this explainer provides a comprehensive baseline for recovery, identity theft is constantly evolving. If you're facing highly sophisticated synthetic fraud, criminal identity theft where someone is using your name with law enforcement, or really complex debt collection lawsuits, you absolutely should seek out a licensed consumer protection attorney to fully untangle the mess. Sometimes you just need a pro in your corner.
I want to leave you with an empowering thought. Identity theft can feel like a total loss of control, but you have immense power to fight back. You now have the blueprint. So whether it's freezing your credit, setting up an IP PIN, or just taking 5 minutes to check your bank statement tonight, what proactive step will you take today to ensure your data isn't compromised tomorrow? Stay safe, stay vigilant, and use this guide to protect yourself.